very rewarding. It was really impactful. But you could see that they'd come in and they're like, oh my God, I never thought I'd say this. When I first came into Fastben and then you told me it was going to be 300 quid, 3,000 pounds, but $5,000, I thought you were just like, what the fuck is this guy asking me to part with this kind of money to transform my life? But
a challenge arises and it takes them down. Like you going through your own training protocol for a number of years will teach you emotional resilience. Like you learn that on your own.
Welcome to the Awaken Man podcast. Pete and I were just talking about the subject which we are going to be delving into today, which is why men need to transform their body. And I'm actually going to go in not so much into the how today, but why, if you're a man listening to this podcast, why it's a really good idea for you to engage in some kind of personal transformation using exercise as the modality for the vehicle to help you go on your hero's journey. And honestly, it's something I've spent most of my life in. I've watched so many men and women transform their body, and it's transformed their life. Pete, you can attest to this. I remember your story about your personal confidence you shared at Luke's gym.
The gym has saved me so many fucking times. Like being able to get in there, get my head into something, get my body into something, get all my fucking anger out. Like having that release has saved me multiple times. I got some people can turn as how they want. I said the word fixed the other day. I was like, I'm working on myself to fix myself. And I had so many fucking comments. You don't need to, you're not broken. You don't. And I'm like, yeah, I get language and that. But I think in the right context, using a word like fixed is right. Because like for me, I was using it in the context of this, and I'm going off tangent here, but like my parents didn't get their money right. They never got the money right. That's a fucking problem. Right, I've fixed that problem and I am going to continue to fix that problem. So then it's not a problem for future generations. That is something I am fixing, right? Back to the gym. That saved me when I was a young boy. When I was 12, 13 years old, my bone structure and my muscle density was 2 to 3 years below what it should have been. That's what the doctors were saying, because I was so much smaller than all the other kids. And what that led to was me being bullied. It also led to this inner self-worth issues, like why aren't I as big as the other boys? And that's leading to the boys picking on me physically, but it's also leading to the girls picking on me like verbally. And it was horrendous for me as a young boy, as you can imagine. And like I was like, what can I do about this? Well, I'm reading this stuff on the internet around men's health. I was reading Men's Health at the time, and it was like going to the gym and training. So I joined the gym really early. When I was about 15, I joined the gym. Like I started working at a gym and I was able to go there. They gave me free membership and I was able to train, and I got a little bit bigger because of it. Like I got a little bit of shape and that like transformed my confidence from this like guy that was getting bullied and a guy that had no like confidence around girls. And I was busting to get a girlfriend. I was so like, I just want to have a girlfriend. I want the girls to like me. And the gym gave me that, like being able to go in there, work on myself. I could see physically that I was changing, and that gave me confidence. It saved me during that period because I was able to rise up as a young boy coming into, late teenage years. So that's how I'd say that saved me in that particular period.
Well, no, I think that's really important because I think so many men have had such a poor relationship with exercise, and they've never actually had that experience where they've gone to somewhere like a gym and enjoyed it. I met so many men that their relationship with training and working out came from school. Like they were in maybe the B group or the second group, which was full of people that didn't like fitness. There was, guys in there that they had to play rugby and football, which they hated. It's just like they weren't very good at that age because they haven't developed. They were prepubescent in later years in adolescence. So for example, like I was very much like a real late bloomer. I don't think I got a single pubic hair until I was like 17. And I think what happens is, especially for guys, they have this preconceived notion that they're not good at sport early on because there's other guys in the school or the year groups who've matured way quicker than them. Then they create this narrative around not good at sport, don't enjoy exercise, and then exercise doesn't become a particularly valuable part of their life because they've got this quite contractive narrative around that. But what's been really nice is, and this is something I've realized since school, since like younger years, is that the guys who weren't great at sport in school and now I'm incredible. Like I've seen some guys like where they weren't great at running or they weren't like national standard like I was, but they're 10 times better than me now. And that's because they didn't have this narrative that they were good. They just kept on working at it. You know, it's that idea of hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And I think that's a big thing for a lot of guys. They have such a poor grounding in exercise and fitness. And what I think for a lot of guys is they miss how valuable a body transformation is. And I think I want to clarify this because we talk about body transformation, not just doing fitness. For me, doing fitness is important. Like going out, going for a walk, being active, having a healthy heart, you know, the kind of the general mediocre stuff. But in my world, a body transformation is where you see someone maybe in the January and then you see them in the July and you think, holy shit, what has that guy been doing? He looks different. He acts different. His energy is different. He has just got this glow about him that his confidence is phenomenal. That is a body transformation when there's visible change to a man because he's engaged in a period of exercise training, programming, a new sport, a new activity.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think like what we want to talk to today in the podcast is like why men want to engage in that process and make it a process that visibly changes the way that they're showing up in their world. And, you know, just some of the things that might really, really help you. So if exercise and body transformation is something that you've never done, first of all, go and do it. Like, you know, I sold it for 15 years and I believe it is the vehicle to transform your life. It's the first thing. It's like when we work with guys in Awaken Man, Heroic Man, first thing we do is get their eating, their moving and sleeping right. Because we know it just it gets into every level of transformation. Like it helps them with their relationships, it helps them with their career, everything.
Yeah, I remember when I did my first body transformation and I was in my early 20s. So I'd been going to the gym since I was about 15, 16. And I was getting a little bit more serious when I was like 18, 19, 20. But I didn't really know what I was doing fully. I was just going and I was reading like whatever I could find on the internet about how to train and what to eat. I tried freaking every single diet. My poor mother, right? Because I'd lived with my mum until I was 23. Like every other week, there was a new diet going on. I'm doing keto, I'm doing paleo, I'm doing this just like pure dairy. I tried freaking everything. Now I can look back at that and go, crap, I've got so much experience trying all these diets. But I really hit it a lot harder and did my first transformation in my early 20s and I employed a coach. And I committed to doing a competition. And the reason I did the competition, purely vanity. I just wanted to get a real defined six-pack. I wanted the six-pack. And I'm like, well, I know the power of accountability. So why don't I just commit to something big, like going on stage, and then I'll get a coach and then I commit to that. And then I've just got to fucking do it. And I remember committing to it. And I remember some of my friends buying tickets. And this was like 8 or 9 months out from the competition itself. I had quite a long time to prepare for it. And about a month in, I regretted it. I was like, oh no, what the fuck have I done? Like because you know now I'm like researching competitions. I'm like, shit, I've got to get on stage, and I am not in the condition that all these other guys are. And am I going to get? So all the self doubt came in, like loads of it. But because some of my buddies had already bought tickets, I couldn't give up. I was like, no, I've got to do this now. And I'm so glad that I persevered. And because it taught me so fucking much, like going through that 8-9 months or whatever that was of hard training, getting up in the early hours, coming to train twice a day, all the eating routines. It taught me discipline. It taught me hard discipline. It taught me perseverance. It taught me consistency. It actually accelerated my career. I remember in my early 20s, I was just doing okay in my career, and going through that process, my career fucking accelerated because I had loads of energy, but I just had so much drive. There was a noticeable change in me as a man going through that period because I was building all this confidence as well. I'm like, fucking hell, I am doing this. I am looking good. I am feeling good. And then it just translated into other areas. So I am a big advocate of do a transformation, do something big like that, because it forces you and it will reflect on multiple areas of your life.
Yeah, actually, as you were sharing then, did you just get that realization that it was, it had an effect? Yeah, I could see that.
I'd never, do you know, I'll tell you a story, guys, a quick one. is that Yazine, hopefully you've listened to a couple of podcasts back where we talk about discipline and we talk about what it is to be a man. Yazine actually attends those podcasts, right? It's taken us 18 months to get him on. Please go back and listen. Like, he is the founder of The Awakened Man. He mentored me for a number of years. He mentored Ben for a number of years. Now we're all business partners. He's a very wise man. But he's been saying to me recently, he's like, Pete, do you know what you need to do, mate? Is piece together your like story. And he's always freaking right. He's like, piece together where it first started and really like
annoyingly always right.
Annoyingly always right. Yeah. And so when he's like, I love doing these sorts of podcasts because these bits of stories come out and I'm like, do you know what? That was a pivotal moment in my life there. And that is a part of the story.
Yeah, I could see that, because you could see that kind of light bulb moment. Like, actually, I did this body transformation, then my career went better, and I saw that. Like, and the reason I sat with, I sat in a consult room for pretty much 10 years with people. I would sell them a body transformation. I would sell them on this idea of being fit and being healthy and things going well in their lives. And then when it actually happened for them, I'd be like, told you so. That's what I did. And that was very rewarding. It was really impactful. But you could see that they'd come in and they're like, oh my God, I never thought I'd say this. When I first came into Fastben and you told me it was going to be 300 quid, 3,000 pounds, $5,000, I thought you were just like, what the fuck is this guy asking me to part with this kind of money to transform my life? But when I look back, it's been worth every penny and more. And I'd hear the stories about people leaving partners, about them taking new jobs. I would see them like go places in their career, and they could literally track back to the point where they decided to look after themselves. And I think this is something that men, and this is something that we talk about in our certification program. So the Awakened Man, we've got a certification program where we're certifying future awakened man coaches, but we're going like a mile deep for 2 years with these people because we've got such a level of detail we go into. And we talked about this, about the caretaker archetype. Men traditionally have maybe a strong warrior where they're very, very good at kind of do, but they're not good at taking care of themselves. And men would come in and they just hadn't been taking care of themselves. They looked like shit. They had bags under their eyes. They were dehydrated. I'd ask them how much water they drank in a day, and they'd be like, oh yeah, I drink about a litre of water. And I'm like, how many beers do you drink? About 2 or 3 beers every night. And he just had this like frustration. And I was like, dude, like just fucking look after yourself, man.
It is. It's about having more respect for yourself as well. And not just respect for you as a man, but respect for fucking, like, especially if you've got a family, especially if you've got a wife, and especially if you've got children. Like, have respect for them. Like, if you can't have the respect for yourself to look after your health and to look, like, not just physically, but mentally, have the respect for the people that are around you, your wife and your children, because they are looking at you. That, you're the role model to them. Be that role model and look after your health. It's fucking the number one thing to do is your self-care.
Yeah. And I think I had this thought the other day, is like, what would I rather Effie see me do? Sit with a beer in front of me a couple of nights a week on the sofa, or cross a finish line of a really tough event? And
well, you fucking said it the other day on the Awakened Man call, mate, and I'd never heard you say this before, and I'm like, that's fucking spot on. You said, and I fucking loved this, you were like, what do you want on your tombstone? Watch Netflix every night for 3 hours, right? Or ... right? What do you want on your tombstone? If like your daughter or your son or your missus is like, he passed away, like we didn't expect him to pass away, just you got whatever happened, car accident, boom.
Yeah, I'll share the coaching. It was a guy that joined our program. We had an onboarding call, and these onboarding calls are phenomenal. And I was like, he just said, I'm really struggling to kick the Netflix habit. And this guy's a mountaineer. Like, he's climbed some of the biggest mountains in the States. And he just said, I haven't done any mountains recently. And I'm like, dude, I knew his son's name. I was like, so-and-so's, he's 15, he's 20, and you've just passed away because of something's happened, right? And he's wandering through your graveyard, visiting your grave. And he comes up to your grave and he sees on the top of the gravestone, watch 3 hours of Netflix every single night. And I'm just like, and it's a bit of dark and, dark coaching. But at the same time, it was like, he texted me the day, I haven't watched Netflix since. And like, this is it, right? It's like he was just numbing every single night. And anyway, he's got back into training for his marathons, his rock climbing, his mountain climbing. He's showing up differently now. So really, like, I think this is a real powerful one. Is just like for a lot of men, it's getting really, really clear on looking after yourself. And this is something that guys don't do. I think this is almost like, and this is what I think is the insidious combinations of mindset. it's like I simultaneously, I don't look after myself, but I also think I can deal with anything that life throws me. So like this is like the Superman mindset. So it's like, so I can deal with all the psychological burdens, all the physiological burdens that my daily life throws at me. And yet I don't do anything to look after myself. I don't go and train. I don't speak to a therapist. And that is why I believe that men get heart attacks and die. Like that's like literally, I think what happens is that they don't look after themselves physiologically, psychologically, but they bear this mindset that I can take on anything that life throws at me. And I've seen it happen, you know, loads of guys who just didn't look after themselves. And all of a sudden they get a challenge, which is just a little bit out of their norm, and it takes them down. And I saw that in Fast. I saw that in, you know, some of my friends' parents and stuff like that.
Yeah, and from my own experience of training for such a long time, what you've just said there, like a challenge arises and it takes them down. Like you going through your own training protocol for a number of years will teach you emotional resilience. Like you learn that on your own, and it's fucking powerful. Like I went to Dubai last week and I hit the gym every day, and I was there on my own in the gym and I loved it. It's like it's my hour, just me and myself in the gym. We're hitting it together, just me, and it's like my hour of solitude. It's just me and my thoughts, and it's a nice place to be. And like I know a lot of guys don't get that. They don't get their time on their own. Like it's just mental, busy. There's always shit going on. We're always thinking about other people, always thinking about our team or our wives and our partners or our children, always putting other people first. Like having that for yourself is so powerful for your like emotional health, and it's like a tool that you can take anywhere in the world. Like anywhere I go, I know that I can go and find a gym, and I know what I'm doing in there, and I can just walk in and it's just me and the weights, and I've got my mind, and it's a nice place to be.
Yeah, and I noticed actually this one of the guys on the Awaken Man put this on his story the other day, a guy called Matt Whitmore, and he said that when he goes on holiday, he trains hard. Like he goes and finds the gym, and I'm the same. Like when I go on holiday, I want to train. Like I really look forward to like what's the gym going to look like? Where can I train? Where can I go for a run? And I think what happens to a lot of guys is that they see holidays, or when they go away or then they get a break from work, they see this as a time to not train, to not do fitness. And it's the worst fucking time. Like if you think about this, like you're getting an opportunity to train in a lower level of stress, but like, training makes you feel amazing. And that's why sometimes people go on holiday and they need a holiday to get over the holiday. They go and lay on a deck chair, drink loads of beer, they come back toxic.
Eat all the buffet food.
Yeah. So super sluggish. And I can see that. I've seen it in family members. Like, you know, I can say about my dad. My dad deals with problems by going on holiday. It's just like,
yeah.
You know, and I think that the guys need to develop a habit around fitness, that it's a non-negotiable. It's like a daily thing, that the structure that they've got in place, it's there wherever they go.
Yeah, I can tell you, when I go away on holiday, I do not come back feeling like I need another holiday. No, because nothing really changes in my protocol. Like the protocol is the same, and like doesn't matter where I am in the world, I'm still doing my routines as I would do if I'm here in the UK. Right, there might be a little bit more relaxation involved if I'm not working, but outside of that, all the routines are still the same. The eating, the training, the reading, the journaling, the discipline around all my protocols that I know that make me feel good stays the same.
Yeah, especially for guys as well. Something that I was talking about with a coach the other day is that when you have training as just a modality for being fit, you lose a lot of the extra value that it'll have carryover into all the other parts of your life. Like resistance training is, especially for a man, done properly, will increase your testosterone enormously. And now, if you're a guy looking to get ahead in life and you're looking to have that career breakthrough, you're looking to have that edge on your competition, when you have higher levels of testosterone, you're going to operate differently. Like I was speaking to, it was a fellow coach, and he said, I got on the gear for a bit, but I was like, you know, I did actually use, you know, tests to get in that kind of shape. And I was like, man, you looked awesome. And he's like, yeah. He said that it wasn't the muscle that was really the best part. It was how I felt about my business. Like he said, I crushed it when I was taking tests like that amount. And I was like, now I was sat there thinking, I was like, should I take some? I was like, should I get? Like, I'm like, really, he's really selling it to me. But for me, I don't want to do that because I'm not sure about the long-term health implications. I probably would go to a clinic long-term, but going back to like the actual, kind of take home from that, I was like, yeah, I forgot about all of the, like we've used the word potency before, all the potency that gives you, like a transformation. It makes you so fiery and want to push forwards in every area of your life. Speaking to what Pete said before,
including your sex life.
Yeah.
Massively. Like if your test is up, like, yeah, we want to go as men. And that feels good. Like I'm telling you, I want to go. I'm feeling good right now. Like with my test levels, I know they're high because of the amount, the way I look after my diet, the way I look after my sleep. I'm doing everything to raise those levels because I know that it impacts every facet. But that feels good to like want to have sex. I know there's plenty of guys that those levels are suppressed if their fitness and their energy levels are down, that they don't fancy having sex.
Yeah, I remember like this was like when in my 20s, I had ridiculous levels of testosterone. Some of my partners I would be with, I would be like, "Oh, let's go again," and they're like, "Go again?" My last partner, God, he was one and gone, and I was like. And I was just like, no, I can go all day, right? And there's that, and like that was so
only two times. I'm tired after that.
Yeah, I probably like attested like once now, but it's back in my 20s. I was like, it was just that part of me was like, right, I could go all day, and that was because my testosterone was so much higher. I can definitely attest to it coming down, like because I've noticed it, but it's gone back up since I started weight training again. Like I started running in lockdown, and I think that this is actually really interesting as well, is that long sessions that are longer than 20 to 30 minutes for most normal humans, they start to increase your cortisol, which inhibits testosterone. So it's like actually like long CrossFit workouts, like grueling gym sessions that are longer than 45 minutes for someone that isn't taking testosterone is probably not necessary. And this is what most men think you have to do. You have to go to the gym for 1 or 2 hours. Well, actually, you're actually not going to get any much benefit after the first, say, 20 to 30 minutes if you're a guy that isn't eating optimally, sleeping optimally. And that's what happened when I had the kids. Sleep went worse. I wasn't doing resistance training. I was running for an hour. My testosterone was in the basement. And I've shifted that recently. And I'm like, I'm leaner. My sex drive's gone back up. Poppy's got leaner as well. So I've got leaner and she's got leaner. So we've had sex more.
Yeah. Look at that power couple. Do you know, like you're both at it, like as not like rabbits. I mean, like at it in the gym, as in you focus on your health, and the thing is, you got 2 kids that they're seeing that. That's awesome. Like this morning, I was in the gym training, and Leo's coming in there with me now. He draws on my whiteboard where I mark all of my sets and my reps, and I'm like, oh, dude, he's just rubbed it all out. But anyway, this morning I'm training, and I'm doing walking lunges. He's like, 1 more, Daddy, 1 more. I'm loving it. I'm like, oh God, okay, I'll do another set then, 1 more. But it's brilliant because he's seeing that, right? He's actually pushing me to do another set, and I'm like, go on then, I'll do 1 more because he's there watching me.
Yeah, I think that's like this. I did the Manchester half marathon, Wilmslow half marathon, and my daughter was there at the finish line with Poppy, and she wasn't even conscious enough to. She was like not even 1. But the pride that I felt different to any other competition I've ever done before, and like every time I walked through the door, Effie walked up to the door and she says, "Oh, Daddy's been training." Same for Poppy, right? And this is the thing. I think for guys, it's to be that role model for your kids. Is that this is a normal behavior. And I didn't get that from my dad. Like he played rugby and stuff like that, but I didn't get that modeling from my dad. I actually got it from my mum. My mum was always out circuit training. She went circuit training. She went and did all these things. I actually learned that from my mum. But I wish I would have had a role model for the gym. I wish that. Because like if I would have started the gym earlier, I'd have been an animal.
Yeah,
it's good.
My role model was Arnie. I love Arnie. There's a Netflix. If you haven't watched a Netflix documentary on him, you should watch it. It's just come out. There's like 3 episodes about like the 3 areas of his life, because he went from being, world champion bodybuilder into movies, right? Then into like being a politician, right? Running one of the biggest states in America. Like what a man. But again, like that started from him going through bodybuilding, right? Going through him and getting to the pinnacle, and he's probably done that and realized what his mind can do when he puts his mind to something.
Yeah, wow. And I think that comes back to that. Again, it's transformation. A quintessential hero's journey, going through that trials, tribulations, temptations, letting go of who you were, stepping into who you can be, going up and having a final battle. All of the steps of a hero's journey feature in a personal transformation, a body transformation. And you go through that. Like, guys, like what I'm actively trying to do here is sell you into this idea of going, right, okay, actually, where could I go and find somewhere where I could do a transformation right now?
Yeah.
And is this like getting off the couch and saying, do you know what, I'm going to go and do a half marathon, a marathon? Is this going to go, I'm going to go and walk across a desert? Is this, I'm going to go and transform my body using weights? Is it, I'm going to go and do something so difficult like a Spartan? Like all those things that we've just talked about, we're doing those with Awaken Man and Heroic Guys. We're doing Spartans with the whole of our group. We're doing a Mansformation with, guys who want to get in great shape at the end of July. We're going to be launching that over the next couple of weeks. But I think what's actually come back for both of us, because for Pete and I, is just recognizing the value of something that we've done inherently as part of our Awaken Man journey all the way through. And we were like, well, why are we not including that? Because of the value it has on everything that a man needs in order to succeed in every facet of his life, his health, his wealth, his relationships.
Yeah. Another member of our team, Ali. Some of you guys may well have communicated with Ali. He's ex-UFC, MMA, did that for a freaking long time. The guy, you look at him and go, he looks like an animal. But also he's in great condition. Like, he looks phenomenal. You can see the muscles bulging from his T-shirt. And we were like, hang on a minute. There's myself and there's Ben and there's Ali. We're core members of the team. And fitness, it has played a fundamental part in our growth and our success. And we should be including this within our programs and what we do with all the guys. So yeah, like Ben said, we're going to launch that. Well, this month actually, we're going to end of July, start training guys.
Yeah, if you listen to this podcast and if you go on to Instagram afterwards, either at Coach Benjamin Owen or at Pete_Taylor, and just write the word Mansformation. If you're interested in a body transformation, we'll share with you the information. But coming back to why you would want to do a transformation is what I found a person, especially a body transformation, allowed me to do was let go of a lot of the old unhelpful coping mechanisms and shit that I was doing. Because transformation really, especially when it's a body transformation, it's about letting go of bad habits and behaviors. And we've had a week. So we're actually in the breakthrough week. We've had 75 guys attend every single call, and we've had 140 guys or something, like a huge amount of guys who've joined the breakthrough week, focusing on discipline. And something that I've noticed is that what guys are really looking for is the opportunity to let go of all of the old unhelpful coping mechanisms, patterns, behaviors that are fucking with the success. And so when I did my first body transformation, my proper one with Simon Shivers, Simon was a great coach. I paid like $3,000. This was way before online transformations were, even 5. This was before Instagram generation. Online transformations weren't really a thing. And I paid, I think it's $3 or $4 or $5,000 to do it. And he helped me simplify things week on week. And I remember the first week, and he was like, right, okay, just drink water. And I was like, oh, is that it? Is that all you're giving me? He's like, yeah, just do that. And I was like, oh, come on, give me the gold, give me the magic things. He's like, no,
give me the secret.
Yeah, give me the secret the secret sauce. And he's like, dude, I've seen you. I spent time with you. You drink coffee. You have the occasional drink. You're not hydrated. And I knew this because I've been an S&C coach for 10 years. And I'm like, but I wasn't doing it. And he was like, right, come on, bit of integrity. Drink water for a week. And I was like, next week, jumped on the scales, like 2-3 kilos had gone. I was just holding so much water. I was so inflamed. Like, next thing, Ben, make sure you hit 160 grams of protein every single day. And I was like, right, super simple, I can do that. And he layered down every single step I had to do week in, week out. And I just had to make sure I did that. There's like 5 or 6 steps, and I looked phenomenal after it. But the thing that helped me most was letting go of all of the unhelpful things I was doing, like drinking too much on the weekend, like numbing in the evening, having like 2 or 3 bowls of ice cream, just like it was like low calorie ice cream. It was protein ice cream. I was having way too much of it. And so what I think guys get from a body transformation is they let go of all this stuff they think they need that really isn't serving them. It's not helping them sleep. It's not helping their energy. And when they do that, they're just left with more space, more time, more bandwidth, and more energy. And that's why they get that inflection in their life. That's why they start succeeding massively.
Yeah, absolutely. And it teaches discipline. And that's a lovely character trait to hold.
Well, yeah, I think this week has taught me, we've tried in different messages, the people that want to come onto our programs, and discipline has been a really, really powerful one. So yeah, it's been a real powerful one. Guys, I just wanted to share, thank you so much in this conversation today. If you're looking to get a body transformation, I'd love to have a conversation with you. If not, go and find a way to transform your body, and it will transform your life. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you on the next pod.
Cheers, team.